What's up guys, it's Emma. Welcome back to my channel. So this video is a bit different from what I normally post. This video is actually some highlights from a much longer interview that I recently did with Daliana, the host of the Data Scientist show. In this short video, you will get a taste of some of the things I talked about in that video. However, I highly recommend heading over to the Data Scientist show and check out the full interview. In that full interview, I talked about a ton of different topics such as my layoff story, how to prepare for interviews, data science interview trend in 2022, how to negotiate offers, and so much more. For now, check out this video for a glimpse of the interview. And if you like what you see, head over to the Data Scientist show for the full conversation.
Did you have moments when you feel so scared that, oh, what if I never have a job or you want to give up? How did you push yourself through that phase?
Yeah, that's a great question. I definitely have moments of self-doubt and moments of being unmotivated. Yeah, so I think everyone experienced that, right? Like imposter syndrome or self-doubt, right? I think the key is sometimes you calm down and realize that the worst scenario is that you don't do anything and you still don't have a job, right? And other than that worst scenario, anything you do is a benefit, right? You improve yourself, you improve your knowledge, you improve your skills. And I think at the end of the day, the character you build by putting into the work is the most important thing. I think for me, I was very stressful. And I remember I lost maybe 20 pounds in a 2 month period of time. Yeah, as I mentioned earlier, once I could do better probably is to be less stressed out and focus more on just acquiring the knowledge, because there are lots of things out of our control, right? Like maybe your dream companies do not have any headcount. Maybe the interviewers do not show up, right? There are lots of things we cannot control. But what you can control is to be able to put in the work and just be a better self, right? To improve yourself.
Thanks for sharing that. So when you were interviewing, that was 3 years ago, and now you have helped almost 100 data scientists. What was the change? What is the current trend of data science interviews?
Yeah, happy to share that many companies freeze hiring. So in general, it becomes more competitive and interviews are becoming harder. Like a few years ago, maybe most companies only ask you if you know the fundamentals of A/B testing, right? If you have a basic product sense in order to work with other teams. But now the thing is, the depth of knowledge is required, especially for top tier companies, right? Like social media companies, right? Like Meta and LinkedIn. They not only test you if you know A/B testing, they also want to know if you have practical knowledge, right? Like, for example, how to deal with high skill data, right? How to analyze if network effect impact a particular experiment, right? And how does network effect impact the experiment result?
Yeah. Thanks for sharing that. And so after we understand better about which position we want to target, we're going to make plan and then execute. Can you share more advice on those two stages?
Sure. I think once you are clear on your target position, it's relatively easy to make a study plan because you will have a list of things you need to focus on to land that job, right? But the hard part or the hardest part is to execute the plan because, you probably get overwhelmed by the amount of things you need to learn, right? You probably also feel discouraged if you learn slowly, right? So those things might keep you being productive on executing that plan. So I would say maybe start from small things, maybe try to do one SQL problem per day. Gradually you will build the proficiency, you will build the familiarity, and then you feel more comfortable tackling more challenging problems. So I would say executing the plan, the execution part is most important and also the most challenging part. You might also get distracted by social media, right? Or some news. And it's hard to focus on the things you really need to do. So I think the execution part is most challenging.
And from the technical perspective, what are type of mistakes people usually make during your coaching sessions with them?
Yeah, in terms of technical ones, I feel some people try to have a cheat code system, meaning that if they interview with some company, they only learn the interview questions, they try to search interview questions online and they only learn things related to those interview questions.
Yeah.
So they don't have the foundation in place, right? They try to cheat the system and try to say, oh, if I can get lucky and, the interview questions I'm going to get is exactly the same as what I have prepared before so that I can maybe land offer with this company. But most of the cases it's not happening.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a great point. We all want things happen fast, but we have to do the hard work, learn what's going on behind the question, because you can find the sample question and recite the answer, but the interviewer can always ask a follow-up question to ask you to expand on a specific topic. And that's where they can figure out, whether you just remember the answer or you really understand the concept.
Right. Totally agree.
And for the students who have found jobs faster versus those who kind of struggle to find jobs, what are something you feel they do differently? Or what about their background you think that help them find a job faster?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think it's never about the background. It's more like despite they feel unconfident, despite they have imposter syndrome, do they choose to move forward?
Yeah.
Right? Like, I think people feel imposter syndrome all the time, right? If you try to improve your life or you try to land a better job, you try to find a better job, right? You try to improve your relationships. You face imposter syndrome. You might doubt if you deserve it or not, right? So I think it's just like common that people have that imposter syndrome, but some people choose to face it and choose to move forward despite they feel, maybe they are not able to do it. Maybe they feel they don't have any track record, right? But they still keep doing the things they need to do in order to land a job. So I think people who execute are those who see results most quickly.
Yeah. Thanks for sharing that. And previously, you mentioned a couple times whether when you're transitioning into a new field or while you're doing your interviews, a lot of times people don't have the confidence. And also, from my experience, confidence are built based on some small wins from your previous experience. So during the interview process, how do you build confidence?
Yeah, that's a great question. And confidence is a topic I really love talking about. So I think to build confidence in the job search process is that you care less about the outcome and know that you can only build confidence by doing the work. I think it's not that you listen to someone and you read some books and you suddenly have the confidence, right? I think confidence is built over time and you want to, by putting into the work repeatedly and consistently, you build the confidence step by step. So maybe it's helpful that I share my personal experience. Like when I started my YouTube channel, right? I had zero experience creating videos. I was not a good communicator and I was not very comfortable in front of camera. And also, to be honest, I'm embarrassed in my earlier videos, but I still did it anyway. And I developed confidence in the process. So far, I have made probably over 100 of videos. Some of them are on my YouTube channel. Some of them are in my course. And I think the process put into the work and working on creating videos give me the confidence. I know that I still have lots of things to improve, but I'm confident that if I put into the work, I can create videos that's valuable to people. And also I can be more confident if I make more videos, right? So I think even though there are still things you feel you are not perfect, you still want to get started right away. If I wait until I feel super confident on making videos, I probably will never get started, right? So I think interview is the same. You build your confidence by doing more interviews. You probably don't want to test your skill levels in real interviews. You can do mock interviews, before the real interviews, and you do a ton of them, and you build the confidence to express yourself, right? To present yourself. And then you will be very confident in interviews.
Yeah. You mentioned you learned a lot of things from your students. Can you share maybe one or two things that you learned from coaching?
Yeah, I think maybe one thing is that no matter you have, I have students who, as I mentioned, transfer from a totally different industry to the tech industry, right? Mm-hmm. I also have students who work in the tech industry, but they land job offers with a better coming. So I think no matter if you have background or not, you have to be able to do things despite you feel unconfident, despite you have self-doubt, right? Mm-hmm. So at the end of the day, the outcome is not important. I think it's a character you build by putting into the work, right? By doing the hard work. When someone else might try to find an extra excuse that why they don't deserve the opportunity, right? Yeah. Maybe because they don't have relevant background. Maybe they don't have relevant experience, right? But you are doing the hard work. You are trying to put, your time and energy into improving yourself. And I think that's really meaningful to me, by helping people overcome their disbelief and doing the things and then see the results. I think the whole thing is just really, really motivating to me. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed that brief look at the interview. Like what I said in the introduction, this is actually part of a much longer interview that you can find as a video and a podcast at the Data Scientist Show. I hope you check it out. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't done it already so that you can get updates about my latest videos. See you soon!